winter. The days are shorter, colder, darker. And you might find this depressing. I feel like a lot of people do. A lot of people already feel as if though they've been in a spiritual winter. They feel like it's been a while since the sun has shone in their life. So with winter just beginning, they feel unequipped to deal with the even further darkness. But what if you flip the script? What if this winter was the best thing that ever happened to you? The wintertime has the unique characteristic of cold, unforgiving consistency. It forces people indoors, locking them into deep grooves of repeated behavior for months and months on end that either disintegrate their character over time or builds them into something formidable. So why not leverage that? Use this season to lock in new default behaviors, a chain of automatic actions that will completely transform the way you feel with each passing day. Actions that level up your character and make you more satisfied with being alive. If you want something you've never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done. So, what exactly do you do? And how do you stay consistent? Well, the first step might sound counterintuitive, but it's crucial. The first step is to do nothing and get better at doing nothing. Most people doubt their ability to implement positive behaviors into their life because they're living in a constant state of reactivity rather than proactivity. They are driven into compulsive behavior because they are terrified of their own default mode network. The default mode network, or DMN, is a network of brain regions that are most active when you are not doing anything in particular, when you're just sitting there, reflecting on the past or future, and engaging in self-referential thought. It's your default mode. No phone, no internet, no people, just you, existing. Most people don't want to experience this feeling because it's boring, and we already invented the answer to boredom. But what if boredom was your answer? Instead of constantly running from the feeling of baseline existence, what if you became comfortable with it so that you can start running towards something else, something bigger? Stephen Pressfield, in his book, The War of Art, describes this force he calls resistance. It's an almost metaphysical force that prevents you from doing what you must do. Everyone on Earth is familiar with the feeling of resistance. It takes many forms and wears many masks. Procrastination, rationalization, avoidance, bargaining. But fundamentally, it boils down to the same internal physiological feeling. It's like an inner tension, an electric ball of stress you feel when you think about doing what you ought to do. It's a type of fear of perceived pain. Resistance hijacks the mind. It whispers in your ear that you'll do it eventually, just not today. That's all it's ever been, a feeling, masquerading as whatever it needs to in order to stop you from growing. Identify this feeling, learn what it feels like, and use it as a compass. The more resistance you feel towards something, the more important that thing is to your flourishing here in this life. You probably already know what you need to do. You already have at least one thing you must stop doing and one thing that you've always wanted to start doing. You almost certainly can already think of a behavior that you suspect that if you were to do that thing with unquestioning, machine-like consistency over the next 6 months, you'd be a completely different person by the time the sun started shining again. A healthier person, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Now is the time to make the decision that you're going to do it. The only question left is how to solve the problem of consistency, and the answer to the problem is easier than you might think. Part 2. Staying consistent. Imagine there was a magic button sitting there in front of you, a big red magic button with pixie dust floating around everywhere, a little fairy singing a song, 3 blind mice playing the violin in the corner, cheering you on. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So this magic button, when you press it, automatically, whatever habit you think of that you want to be consistent with, you're just consistent with it. You'd never miss a day. You'd just be consistent with that habit no matter what. Wouldn't that be amazing? If the magic habit button existed, it would be very easy to think about what habit you would want to implement into your life that would radically transform you 6 months down the line. You could start visualizing this amazing body you would have when summer rolls around. You could probably learn pretty good Spanish or German in 6 months. If you were able to delete the concept of failure from your mind, then it starts to become very easy to get excited and enamored and motivated by the idea of implementing a new habit. But since we're old and jaded because of past failure, we don't tend to do this. We limit ourselves psychologically because we figure, I'm just not the new habit kind of guy. But that button exists, and that button is called a decision. You might think I'm crazy or oversimplifying it, and I definitely am, but bear with me for a second. You've felt this before. You've felt the power of this magic button before in your life. And it happened when you were so disgusted with yourself, so disgusted by the way you've been living, by your degen activities, that you said, I'm f***ing sick of this. I'm tired of it. I'm just going to do the better thing instead of the bad thing, starting now, and you just do it. And you're consistent. All of a sudden, magically, out of pure frustration, your life has changed, and you start doing the good thing instead of the bad thing. Well, what happened? That is the power of decision. A true decision. Decision comes from the Latin root decidere, or decidere, which means to cut off. In other words, to delete any other option. You don't fall for any other kind of rationalization. You say, this is the path forward, and you burn the bridges behind you. In other words, completely cutting off any other possibilities to focus on a single path. A true decision is freeing. When you have no back doors, you don't have to deal with the mental burden of weighing and considering other options. There is only one path. Nothing else is available to you. Rather than tensing up and having to rely on willpower to figure out which of the things before you is the right option, you've already decided. That's not a game you have to play anymore. You've simply pressed a button and you walk the righteous path. You submit to a process that's outside of your control, and the thing just happens automatically. What I'm getting at here is the easiest way to make sure you're consistent is to be as consistent as possible. Thanks, genius. Yeah, I know. What I mean is, it's easier if you do it every single day without a question. You're not making some weird schedule that's easier on yourself. You do it on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. No, you wake up and you do it every single day. You know this because you made a decision about it. And now it's outside of your control. You simply submit to the process. You don't have to think about, maybe there's these off days or what. Just every single day. It's actually far easier to be mechanical about it, to just take your brain out and put it on the kitchen counter, go do the activity, and then think about all the rationalizations after you do it, right? You kind of lobotomize yourself and do the thing you already thought of before, and now your feet just do the thing. It's like you kind of accidentally go to the gym. It's like, oh, whoops, I'm going to the gym. It's like, oh yeah, I don't really feel like it, but oops, I'm going to the gym. Oh yeah, this fucking sucks, but oops, I'm putting on my shoes, and oh, this all sucks, and now I'm running now. Oh, it doesn't suck so much. Does this make any sense? In all of my years of doing habit shit, talking about it, overthinking it, that's the secret. It's literally to lobotomize yourself, realize that sometimes shit sucks. Sometimes things that are good for you feel bad before you do them, but you say, oops, I'm doing it anyways. Just don't care whether you're motivated or not. Don't care whether it feels good or not. Right? It's like, it's good for you and you'll like it. There's something in there that you really want to do and it's really good for you and you will like it. You will like the byproduct of it. You'll like everything about it except for this little rationalization beforehand. Oops-a-daisy, you don't care. You just do it anyways. That's the secret. And in retrospect, 6 months down the line, you can look back and say, wow, I'm glad I kind of just shut my brain off, entered into a self-improvement cryo-sleep, and woke up a superior version of myself. I am no longer a degenerate. Thank you, me. I've been wanting to tell you guys something for about 3 years now, but I haven't been able to because it wasn't done yet. But now it's done, so I'm going to tell you about it now. So for over 2 years, I've been toiling away, perfecting a product called Nutrify. Nutrify is a daily nootropic supplement formulated specifically to help support mental clarity and focus. Two things that I really value in my life. There's a very specific reason why I created Nutrify and why I've been spending so much of my life on it, and that's because it simply didn't exist before. There was nothing like Nutrify on the market, because what I've always wanted is a cognitive supplement that helps support my mental clarity and focus, and it actually works really well because it contains meaningful doses of clinically studied nootropics like CDP choline, lion's mane, ashwagandha, rhodiola rosea, L-theanine, vitamins B6, B9, B12, and more, and I also wanted it to be caffeine-free. The third thing I wanted was for it to not be sweetened with crap like aspartame or sucralose. And finally, I didn't want a nootropic supplement that had me gobbling down a handful of pills, so selfishly, I created it myself. Nutrify is what I believe to be the perfect nootropic supplement. It contains 10 clinically studied nootropics, curated specifically to help support feelings of mental clarity and focus throughout the day. It's caffeine-free, only 30 calories, and sweetened with just 2 grams of organic cane sugar and stevia leaf extract. And it has a smooth, natural mango flavor. This has taken a long time to make because I'm a perfectionist. I wanted to create a world-class product. As far as I know, nothing else ticks all of these boxes. So if you're interested in trying Nutrify for yourself, we're officially launching in April. But the first 500 of you who join the pre-sale below, you'll actually get it 2 months earlier than everybody else, and you'll get an additional 20% off after you add it to your cart. That's a better deal than you're gonna get anywhere else. I want you guys to be the very first to try it, so make sure to click the link in the description below so you can try it for yourself, and the spots will fill up very quickly. I love the way it makes me feel, and I can't wait for you guys to try it yourself.